broadcasting all over the world at urbanbroadcastmedia.com, delivering love and inspiration 24/7. This is UBM Praise. The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. What's his name? Sir Walter Jones. Whose show is this? Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. Say it again. Sir Walter Jones. Who you with? Sir Walter Jones. One more again. Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show with co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in which we tackle all the hot topics in the believer's walk. It's Fireside Friday. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and be encouraged in the Lord.
Hey everybody, it's Sir Walter Jones of the Sir Walter Jones Show. How y'all doing out there? All is well? All is well? All is well. Okay, all right, good. Today's Friday, Fireside Friday. Fireside Friday is the day we sit around the microphone and we talk about what's going on in life. But today we're going to talk about the earth. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. Yesterday we did a show on the aspect of man. What is man? That God is so mindful of us. And we talked about all the intricate parts of man. We went from head to toe. And I tell you, it was a very interesting show. And we want to kind of get really involved in giving a part two of what God has created. And everything that he has created, it is good. It is perfect. He did it. And he does no sloppy work. No sloppy seconds. That's not him. He gives us his best, always gives us his best, and everything he's created was good and perfect. It's just that man has got involved, got his hands in some things, and it may look from the world point of view that things are not perfect. But since the time of Adam's sin, everything else got affected. The earth was affected, the animals were affected, man was affected. We all walk in sin. And so it's time to kind of clean that up. And it will be time. That is when Jesus comes again. The second coming will be coming. The rapture will happen. That's not the second coming, by the way. And we've done a show on the eschatology. But the rapture is just us being caught up to meet him in the air. He comes again. After about 7 years during the tribulation time, after tribulation, he comes and then kind of set the record straight. So, we could talk about that later. But yesterday we got you guys all caught up into examining your bodies, your mind, your soul, your spirit, as Scripture continued to reinforce into us to love the Lord our God with all of everything. So that's mind. We talked about what the mind is and where it's located and where is the seat of the mind. We talked about the soul. What is the soul? And we talked about what is the spirit. For both of them, they tend to be two in one a lot of times. But you can kind of separate them as well, because the spirit is where God comes from, where he kind of operates through us. And the soul is the identity of man. And, we are known through our soul, our characteristics, and our walk in life is the soul of the man. And so then you have the body, of course, and what we kind of broke down all of the intricate parts from all of the systems from respiratory, to all of the glands and to all of the parts of the brain. And we just went there. We even talked about the reproductive system from male and female. And so today we want to delve even further into it, but there are really some fun facts about man, and we'll spend a couple of minutes on this. We'll go to a break a little early today because we kind of started a little late, But even the fact about kissing, there's something intricate about that too. My app is back on, by the way, so we got to tell everybody the app is working. My app was down. When you're dealing with technology all around you, you got to know when things will break, because if man made it, it will break. And then you've got to, try to figure out how to fix it. And sometimes you don't know how to do that right away. I work great under pressure, and it's something that everybody can't do. But it ain't because I work great under pressure don't mean I like doing it. Okay, so just know I don't want it, but if it happens, I'm ready. Kissing is something else. Kissing is from the Old English "sisen," from the Proto-Germanic "kussenjanan" or "kuss," which is probably based on the sound kissing can make. A woman in China, she partially lost her hearing after her boyfriend reportedly ruptured her eardrum with a passionate kiss. The science of kissing is called philematology. The lips are 100 times more sensitive than the lips of the finger. The tips of the finger. I said the lips of the finger. Did I say that? I did. Lips are 100 times more sensitive than the tips of the finger. Not even genitals have as much sensitivity as the lips. Absolutely. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Approximately 2/3 of people tip their head to the right when they kiss. Some scholars speculate this preference starts in the womb. Something else. The most important muscle is kissing. In kissing is the orbicularis oris, also known as the kissing muscle. Yeah, and all these tips about the kissing, and you wonder why a lot of couples don't like to kiss. There are couples who get married and they kissed at the altar, but then that's where it stopped. That's so true. It is possible, it says, for a woman to reach an orgasm through kissing. Kissing has an amazing effect on the body, on the mind, and there's some healthy situations even in the saliva. Now, so you wonder why people do not kiss today. Kissing babies are important. Matter of fact, when we get to that part, there's an importance even in touching. Human connections with just a friendly touch. Social scientists have shown in many studies over the years that supportive touch can have good outcomes in a number of different realms. If a teacher touches a student on the back or arm, that student is more likely to participate in class. Yep. The more athletes high five or hug their teammates, the better the game. Yeah, that's why you see all that patting going on. A touch can make patients like their doctors more. If you touch a bus driver, he's more likely to let you on for free. If a waitress touches the arm or the shoulder of a customer, she may get a larger tip. But why does a friendly or supportive touch have such universal and positive effects? What's happening in our brains and bodies that's causing this magic? Me and Cece playing with these headphones over here. Okay, you turn it up, I'm turning it down. You turn it down, I'm turning. Yeah. So to understand this, it is important to understand that the effects of touching and the effect that it even have on the children. There are a lot of children that are not touched today, and touching actually is a part of their developmental state. A lot of us just don't know these things, and we should study, just to show ourselves approved. Yeah. Facebook has chimed in already. Okay, I see you guys. You're talking here. Okay, the app is back on, guys. It's back on. Lori Sanders says God has a very vivid imagination. She says, I love it. The things he creates make you laugh. If you didn't think God has a sense of humor, look up in the sky and see how he shows off. Yeah, she says show off. So yeah, let's go into that. Matter of fact, hey PA, if you're in the room, come to that mic right there. I think we had Abby that had called in, and she's probably gone by now. She's still on the phone. Put Abby on the phone. You know, because Abby is supposed to be here. I think if this is the same Abby.
Yeah, it is the same.
Okay, all right. I don't know what the problem is. Why she ain't here? She calling in.
I gotta be at the job they pay me.
Oh, okay. All right. As long as they paying you respect, that's good too. Okay. Abby, what you want to talk about? What's going on?
Well, you had me to, look up how we covered the earth.
Yeah.
So, I need everyone to really, really catch on to this. Of course, well, we all know that, we started off in Africa.
Right.
About 200,000 to 100,000 years ago.
Million?
We then left there.
You said 1,000?
Huh?
Okay, go for
it. We then left there and went to Asia 80 to 60,000 years ago.
Okay.
Now, I'm telling you, if you're not catch on to how old the continents really
Absolutely.
are.
Uh-huh.
We then left from Asia and went over to Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and Australia 45,000 years ago.
Wow.
Then we crossed over into Europe 40,000 years ago by two routes, going through Turkey and going through the Mediterranean coast. We then traveled further 35,000 years ago into what we kind of call the Old World, which is better known as the Netherlands. Okay? That's where your caveman and people, all them folks come from, because they were forced to live in the mountains.
Sure.
Okay? Then we left from there to finally 15,000 years ago to cross over into North America, leading down into South America.
Wow.
So here it is, North America. We're the youngest continent.
Yep. I've been saying that.
So you and just want people to understand how old each continent is. So even for us as Americans to say, "Ooh, I don't want to learn my American history or my African history," well, guess what?
Right.
The other folks really suffer because they have 200 to 100,000 years or 80,000 years worth of history to learn.
They sure do.
You only got 15,000.
Yeah, right. He's such a baby. This is so true. It's a wonderful way of putting that. We are so young, especially America. America is very young.
Yeah.
We celebrating a couple hundred years being around, but man, that's like a brand new baby being born today compared to Europe, who have castles over there that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. And, you go to Israel, you see where you can retrace the footsteps of Jesus over 2,000 years ago. We wasn't even a thought until a couple hundred years ago.
Right.
So,
and if people are wondering, where did I get this information from?
Yeah.
Smithsonian.
Wow.
Smithsonian.com.
Them folks.
I'd be looking up.
You be looking. Are you still coming in?
Yes, I'm. Well, let's see here. I've got only 5 more minutes till quitting time.
All right.
So I'm going to get ready to hang up with you guys now because I got to pack up all this stuff here.
Okay, tell all your
business.
business.
And I will be right into the show.
Okay. Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Okay, see y'all in a few.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That was a great Abby Lewis, that Art the Baptist wife.
That's Abby T. Terry Lewis.
Abby T. Hey, do me a favor. We want to start at the very beginning to help us understand this thing about the earth is the Lord. You know what? Psalms 24 and 1. If you can go there, right quick. Why quick like?
That's the beginning for you.
That's the beginning of the topic. That is the theme scripture for the topic. That
Psalm
the
24.
Yeah, and 1. What does it say? What does it say?
Doesn't matter what version.
No.
Okay. I'm in King James.
Good.
The earth is the Lord's,
Yeah.
and the fullness thereof,
All of it.
the world,
Uh-huh.
and they that dwell therein.
That's us.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else. Mhm.
That's right. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods.
Yeah.
Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity,
Okay.
nor sworn deceitfully.
Okay. All right. Go to Genesis 1 if you can. Give me an NLT version, please, so that we can really break it down for those who feel like King James is too complicated for some of you guys.
Wow.
And, and because I've heard it of them for many years. I used to say King James is too difficult because of using Old English terminology. This, thus, thou, hither, thither, and beseech. All these things, and you be like, what is they saying here?
Right.
So that's okay. That's why we have variations of translations out there. We got there's no excuse for anybody not to understand the Bible today because we got so many translations and versions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying you need to swear by all of them because some of them are kind of suspicious.
Right.
But I like this one here, this version here, NLT. What does it say?
You want the first Genesis 1:1?
Yeah, start at the beginning.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
The heavens and the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know there's three heavens?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you saying yes as you know, or yes?
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Oh, okay. There are three heavens.
Yes.
Because Paul says he was caught up in the third heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there's three.
Yes.
Now, but then you gotta be careful how you define the three. Because there was a heaven where God dwells.
Mm-hmm.
He, the angels, Gabriel and Michael and all them folks, they dwell up there. But sometimes the Bible calls the heavens the atmosphere, which is the sky is the heaven.
Right.
The universe,
Mm-hmm.
that's the heaven as well. And then there's a place where God dwells.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have stratosphere and hemisphere and all these spheres.
Right.
Celestial, telestial, and terrestrial. Okay, those are the three heavens.
Yes.
All right, so we don't want to get too deep on that, but
Right.
okay, got it. Now you understand what there's three heavens.
Uh-huh.
Okay, continue.
I knew it before, but thank you.
Yeah, I know you did.
The earth was formless.
Smart.
And empty,
It was empty.
and darkness covered the deep waters.
So the earth was here pretty much, but it was just empty. It was void. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters.
Okay.
Then God said, "Let there be light."
So the Spirit it was hovering over the surface of the waters.
Mm-hmm.
Notice how you're going to continue to see the word water throughout this study today.
Right.
There's something about water that God used for his desire.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Then God said, "Let there be light."
Right.
And there was light.
Okay. And some people say there was a light of consciousness, and others say there was physical light.
Right.
But as you keep reading, you see why there's a battle here going on. Because if he said, "Let there be light," now, keep reading, and you'll see why they asked the question.
Mm-hmm. And God saw that the light was good.
Yeah.
Then he separated the light from the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
God called the light day,
Yeah.
and the darkness night.
Right.
And evening passed, and morning came,
Mm-hmm.
marking the first day.
That's 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So those of you who think that the creation happened over 1,000 years and then another 1,000, and then no, it was over a 24-hour period.
Right.
Okay, go for it.
Then God said, "Let there be a space between the waters,
Yeah.
to separate the waters of the heavens from the waters of the earth."
Okay.
And that is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
God made this space to separate the waters of the earth from the waters of the heavens. Of the heavens, and make sure I put the plural on the end. God called the space sky, and evening passed and morning came, marking the second day.
Okay.
Then God said, "Let the waters beneath the sky flow together into one place, so dry ground may appear." And that is what happened. God called the dry ground land, and the waters seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land sprout with vegetation, every sort of seed-bearing plant, and trees that grow seed-bearing fruit. These seeds will then produce the kinds of plants and trees from which they came."
Yeah.
And that is what happened.
Yeah, vegetation. Okay, God made us all vegetarians back in the garden. Thank God He changed that around Genesis chapter 9.
Yeah, I fell off because I'm a carnivore.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep reading right after the short break. No sound, GC. I ain't got time. You got people are upset because I ain't started my teaching early. Okay, station break. We'll be right back.
On to UrbanBroadcastMedia.com and check out the many services Urban Broadcast Media provides. Whether it's social media, video production, radio broadcasting, or audio recording, we got you covered. The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Okay, we're back. Where did we leave off at?
We left off at verse 11.
Verse 11?
We ended verse 11.
Okay, next one.
The land produced vegetation.
The land, okay.
All sorts of seed-bearing plants.
Right.
And trees with seed-bearing fruit.
Right.
Their seeds produced plants and trees of the same kind. And God saw that it was good.
That's good. Uh-huh.
And evening passed, and morning came, marking the third day.
Okay.
Then God said, let lights appear in the sky to separate the day from the night.
You see what's happening here? Mm-hmm. Okay, He said let there be light way at the top.
Right.
Now He's creating light again? Mm-hmm. That's where the debate is.
Well, yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Let them be signs to mark the seasons, days, and years. Let these lights in the sky shine down on the earth. And that is what happened.
Right.
God made two great lights.
Yeah.
The larger one to govern the day.
Sun.
And the smaller one to govern the night.
Moon.
He also made the stars. God set these lights in the sky to light the earth.
Right.
To govern the day and night, and to separate the light from the darkness.
Okay.
And God saw that it was good.
Good stuff.
And evening passed, and morning came.
Another 24-hour period.
Marking the fourth day.
Right.
Then God said, let the waters swarm with fish and other life.
There's waters again.
Let the skies be filled with birds of every kind.
Okay.
So God created great sea creatures and every living thing that scurries and swarms in the water, and every sort of bird, each producing offspring of the same kind. And God saw that it was good.
Good stuff.
Then God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply.
Eat some fruit.
Let the fish fill the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth.
Right.
And evening passed,
Right.
and morning came,
What?
marking the fifth day.
Boy, keep going.
Then God said,
What did He say?
let the earth produce every sort of animal, each producing offspring of the same kind,
Okay.
livestock, small animals that scurry along the ground, and wild animals.
Yeah.
And that is what happened.
That's what happened.
God made all sorts of wild animals,
Yeah.
livestock, and small animals, each able to produce offspring of the same kind. And God saw that it was good.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Then God
What
said,
do you say?
let us make human beings.
Oh, we coming?
Yes, here we are. In our image, to be like us.
Wow.
They will reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, all the wild animals on the earth, and the small animals that scurry along the ground. So God created human beings in His own image.
Created man in His own image. And we talked about what that image was yesterday. It wasn't the body. It wasn't the physical body, but it was all of the wonderful consciousness of man, of God, is in the man. Because God said it in Romans 1 that He put it in us. We turned from it, though. The righteousness, He says, I put it in you. You knew the truth, but you turned. That's why we say there are no such thing as atheist. You can't be an atheist.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. And then we said, well, then somebody asked the question, what's the difference between an atheist and an agnostic? Nothing.
True.
You can't half believe. You can't be half pregnant.
Right.
What do you think? No, sir. Hey, turn her.
Turn her up.
Yeah. Now notice God kept saying, "Let us." He talking to somebody.
Yes, he is.
He wasn't talking to man, because man wasn't created yet.
No.
Yeah, yeah. So here's the case of there.
So-called Trinity. Yeah.
Trinity.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Okay,
go. Yeah,
all right.
yeah. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Mm-hmm. So we who are Trinitarians say that God must have been talking to someone else, and we believe that Christ was one, and we believe that the Holy Spirit was the other one.
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely. And of course, we know there were angels up there already. Matter of fact, Lucifer was there at one time before he got excommunicated. He was he messed up, and the principal called him to the office and said, "You got to go, and your cohorts, they got to go too."
Yep.
Third of the heavens.
Quite a few of them.
Quite a few of them. Yeah.
And had power. Took a third of them.
Yeah. Had to go. But prior to the 20th century, it was not clear if the universe ever had a beginning. Had it always existed? No one knew. It was a matter of faith. Then a succession of discoveries throughout the 20th century showed beyond a reasonable doubt that the universe did have a beginning. It wasn't always here. They called it the Big Bang Theory. Okay? First, Einstein's theory of generation relativity, published in 1916, suggested that the universe had not always existed, unsettled by the implications of his own theory. However, Einstein added a cosmological constant, is what he called it, to make his equations support the possibility of a static and therefore a eternal universe. All these excuses these people come up with to describe what the Big Bang come from. And I talk with atheists a lot. They ask me, where your God come from? You know what I tell them? I don't know.
Don't have to.
Nope. And I ask them, where your Big Bang come from? Where's the universe come from? They usually say to me, I don't know. I say, you see how alike we are? We're one and the same.
Absolutely.
We don't know. We don't know. But that's where we are alike stops. Then what makes us different is I can tell you that all these things came to be because something created it, and nothing can't create something.
Doesn't it remind you of that saying that says, if he's God and you can explain him, then is he really God to you?
Exactly. And that's what I tell him. I says, if I can explain it to you, then there is no faith.
Exactly.
Yes, because we know the definition of faith.
Right.
So that goes against the laws of faith, is to explain to you where God come from.
Okay.
He is the uncreated. He is the unborn.
Absolutely.
He just existed.
I am.
Well, yeah. And I don't have to know right now where he come from. I just don't.
Just know that he is.
Just know that he is.
That's right.
And because he is.
I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it. It's coming on in.
It's coming on in.
Yes.
Bring it back in. Right. Okay. So go to Job chapter 38, and here's where God had to address Job as if he was an atheist.
Wow.
And we know Job was not an atheist. Job was an amazing man.
Absolutely.
His wife told him, deny God and die. If you curse him.
Foolish woman.
Yeah. But Job says, can't do it. As long as I live, I will not.
That's right.
And then his friends came, Mo, Larry, and Curly. They came and sat with him, and they began to
That's what they were.
try to encourage him. And
It was the first spirits,
yeah.
the Bible spirits. Yes.
Yeah, and it started off cute. They were saying some cute stuff. But then
Were they really his friends?
I don't know.
Okay, go
they
ahead.
they came to console them, and God was quiet. He didn't say nothing. He let them talk. And then finally, God opened his mouth. And when he opened his mouth, it wasn't pleasant. Okay, it took him 38 chapters to finally.
Wow.
Well, a little less than 38. Go. You see? Are you there?
Job 28?
38.
38. Oh, I was in the wrong one.
38, and the same version. Do NLT because King James kind of it gets very poetic, and it can throw some people off a little bit.
Okay.
Although I like the poetic license that it gives. Well, it's not a license; it's an authority. Okay, but go ahead. Job 38.
There go that
Verse
voice
1.
again.
There's that voice.
Okay, go ahead.
Wow. Verse 1.
Yeah,
Then
go to the one right before that, which is probably 37, right? The verse right before that.
Yes, that would be chapter
What it say?
37.
What it say? What it say? What
Well,
it say?
you have to wait a minute now.
Oh, them technologies. I got this book right here. I can just,
37 verse 24. No wonder people everywhere fear him. All who are wise show him reverence.
okay. Uh-huh.
And then you want me to continue on?
Yes.
Okay, we'll keep talking till my computer comes up.
Oh, Jesus.
Isn't that
How you doing?
I'm all right.
You good?
This is good right here.
This good?
Talking about the word.
The boy.
How we was created. You know, I was
Yeah.
thinking about that, the water, when you were talking about the water.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking up the symbolic water meanings.
Okay, please do.
And it says water means life. Water means motion.
Mm-hmm.
It means renewal,
Yeah.
blessings,
I like that.
intuition,
Wow.
reflection,
Yeah.
subconscious,
Mhm.
fertilization,
Wow.
purification, and transformation.
Wow.
That's why I use water.
And that's why he continued to use water.
Always use
The
water.
purity of it, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
Cleansing.
water, you know what else water represents?
What does it
The
represent?
Holy Spirit.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Transformation.
Uh-huh. Jesus was being baptized and a dove showed up.
Sure did.
Wow.
He did.
Yeah.
It wasn't
yeah.
even a candy bar either.
Come
It was
on.
a real one. I like that. That's my favorite chocolate. But go ahead.
I like it. Dove showed up after the boat of the ark kind of part stopped and said we can't go no further. Job sent the dove out there. Hey, go ahead. 38.
Verse 1. Then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind.
Yeah, he wasn't quiet.
Right.
A whirlwind ain't no quiet.
You want to be heard now.
He want to be heard, and that is the unpredictability of God.
Yeah.
Because one guy was looking for God in a whirlwind, and he was looking for God in this storm and all these things, and God didn't show up.
You're always looking
in
for
that.
him in different ways. He
I think
never
it was
come like the
Samuel.
one.
Or was it Samuel? Somebody, and then it says that God just showed up in a
Still small voice. Hey, now.
Absolutely. Keep reading.
Keep reading?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is this that questions my wisdom
Who is this?
with such ignorant words?
Wow. And King James says, "Where were you?"
I like that better.
Where were you? We'll say. He said, "Who was this fool talking to me?" Have you ever done it to your children? Who
you think you're talking to?
Who you think you're talking to?
That would have been better.
Yeah, that was Go.
It's called God shade, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
Brace yourself like a man,
Oh, man up. That's what he said.
because I have some questions for you.
Oh my goodness! How you gonna ask this man a question and he wasn't even around?
I know. You asked me to go. Now I got something for you.
You can go for it.
And you must answer them.
Oh, see, and this for you atheists out there who get all these questions about he doesn't exist and he's a pie and what they call him a puppet in the sky and all this stuff.
Pie in the sky,
Yeah.
figment of our imagination.
And you trying to tell me how old the Earth is? Where were you? Okay.
That's my question for many of the theories that they have out there. These are theories, and you're stating them as fact.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's fact.
You're
Absolutely.
stating them as fact.
That's
They're
right.
just theories.
Yeah.
These are your ideals.
Sure. Go for it.
Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you know so much.
Wow.
Who determined its dimensions
Yeah.
and stretched out the surveying line? What supports
A
its
surveying line. That's a plumb.
Plumb
That's a
line.
plumb
Yeah,
line.
Amos
Yes.
7 and 7.
Yeah,
How about that plumb
that plumb line.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And you see those surveyors out there on your
Yeah.
street. You wonder what's
They
that?
looking through a
They looking through a
lens.
lens because they getting ready to
On a
create something.
tripod.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Straight line.
that's right.
They're
Yeah.
looking at how the lays of lands, the degrees,
They're
of
surveying the land.
topography.
That's what. That's what. And when you see them now, you see God. That's how he. That's what he did when he created the earth. Go for it.
That was deep.
what supports its foundations
The earth-
and
The earth is out on nothing, man.
What is it sitting on?
It's slung.
What supports it?
What's supporting that thing?
He is.
Yes.
Because he's omnipresent.
Whew.
All places at all times. So
Come on.
he got the whole world in his
In his
hand, on his back, on his arm. You never know how he
never know.
positions. Earthquake could be when God
Yeah.
decided to move his position.
Yep, he moved his position. He sneezed, and there it was. Go for it.
Shouldn't
Scratch
that make
his
you
back.
afraid when the all-knowing asks you a question?
Oh, my God.
Oh yeah.
You know something.
Adam,
is
where
coming.
art thou? Was a very,
Come on.
very
Yeah.
fearful question.
Yes.
That's why he was afraid.
Yeah, he afraid of him. Go for it.
And who laid its cornerstone as the morning stars sang together?
Wow.
And all the angels shouted for joy.
The morning star was singing.
Wow.
And
Woke
the angels.
up this morning with my mind.
Wow. Go ahead.
Who kept the sea inside its boundaries
Wow.
as it burst from the womb?
That's a mystery.
The sea is kept in its boundaries. I mean, it could have flooded everything on his command, but he kept
If
it
Lake
in the
Michigan
boundaries.
burp, Chicago's destroyed.
It's over. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
And as I clothed it with clouds and wrapped it in thick darkness.
Clouds, and then clothing in clouds wrapped in darkness. Okay, and we know how it rains because there's an atmosphere that happens. A change of atmosphere comes down and laps up the water like a dog. Laps it up and evaporates, goes up into the elements in the sky.
Evaporate.
Come on, man, and then it's up in the cloud. That's what cloud formation is.
Yeah.
And then it just stays up there until God says, "Okay, I'm ready to release you."
You've had enough.
Right back down.
Right back down, and he
Rotation.
yes, rotation,
It's
exactly.
a rotation.
And he waters the
Called
plant.
cycle, baby. Cycle.
Same
He
thing.
waters the plant.
Cycle.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing.
Cycle of the spirit. Cycle of fifth.
What nothing created that?
Right.
How could that possibly be so intelligent?
And
Nothing.
what bang gives you so much order?
Yeah, because there you go.
What bang can give you so much order? I've seen some bangs before.
I have too.
I've had a car accident or two.
Yeah,
Ain't no order, no bang.
Ain't
right
no
there.
order. I've seen bangs in women's head. Go ahead.
Ain't no order there either. They can't
Ain't
see.
no order there. Ain't no.
See, look at her. That's
Look
crazy.
at her. That's a crazy bang. Ain't it? See,
They singing our song, man.
singing our
Singing our song, man. We man.
go for it.
For I locked it behind barred gates,
Wow.
limiting its shores.
He locked the waters behind the gates. Now, somebody asked me the question. The atheist asked me a question. Where, if God flooded the earth, where did the flood waters go when it receded? It had to go somewhere.
He drew him back.
Here's where it is. And I'm gonna give you a couple more scriptures to show you where the waters went. Keep going. Now, who says that the scriptures is wrong? And the man who says that there is no God, the Bible says he's a fool. Go ahead.
I said, this far and no farther will
Yeah.
you come.
Stop right here. You ain't going no further than the shore of Lake Michigan. Go ahead.
Here your proud waves must stop. Have you ever commanded the morning to appear?
Can you do that? Can you wake up and say, "Okay, come on, morning,
Check.
checkmate"?
He's checking them real good.
He checking them, man.
Yes, he is.
And caused the dawn to rise in the east?
Yeah.
Have you made daylight spread to the
Wow.
ends of the earth?
Have you done that?
To bring an end to the night's wickedness?
Wow.
As the light approaches.
Notice he said the night's wickedness, because in God there is no darkness.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so the God is the light. He is the light of the world. He is the light, and He is that all-consuming fire. He is all light.
Yes.
And when we turn the lights off right here, it becomes dark. Okay, so we have to ask the question: Is light the absence of darkness?
Great question. I was
Okay.
about to head down the road too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it's cold, the absence of heat.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Okay, because as soon as we turn that light off, darkness shows up immediately. As soon as we turn that light off.
Yep.
Does darkness appear or does light disappear?
See, there we go.
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Just deep thinking.
Because there's no such thing as darkness.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
no darkness. It's just the absence of light.
Okay. So if it's dark, is the
Because you have the greater light and the lesser light.
See, I only ask these questions when you get here.
Oh, spirit!
Only when you get here.
Because he's so twisted. I got you. I understand.
I'm only fooling up the answer. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I know why she laughing. Go for it.
As the light approaches, the earth takes shape like clay,
Wow.
pressed beneath a seal. It is robed in brilliant colors.
Brilliant colors.
The light disturbs the wicked
Wow.
and stops the arm that is raised
The
in
light
violence.
disturbs the wicked. That's why there was less crime in
Daytime.
and well lit areas. It is less crime in that area because the wicked
Can't stand light.
don't like light.
Repels.
Doggone, what them things was? The gremlins.
Yeah, come
Bright
on.
light, bright light.
Yeah, and roaches in your house.
Oh, God.
Turn the lights
I
on.
don't know about them.
Turn them lights on.
If you ain't paying rent, you can't stay.
You know, I learned how to tap dance because of that.
Roaches. Oh, yeah. That's why I can't step.
Man,
I must admit, the first time I did the holy dance, it was at a church full of roaches.
Oh my!
I was picking them up and putting them down.
Yeah. So when I see a roach now, I freak out because I haven't had one in the house since I was a boy.
Yeah.
But well, let me see. No, I can take that back. When I got married at the age of 20,
Where is this?
we had an apartment. We was infested, and I learned more. I said, you know what? I remember how to tap dance.
We can make the sun rise.
I said, I'll never live in that environment again. And
Man.
thank God, I've been roach free for many years.
Because they live for free.
They do live for free.
Ain't
Absolutely.
no fair.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pay. You got to pay.
You know
ain't
what
gonna
I'm
eat nothing from me. Nice and warm off of me.
Right.
Roaches, they're what they call them? They squatters.
They are squatters. That's why they made the
freeloaders.
They check in.
They don't check out.
Go for it.
Have you explored the springs from which the seas come?
Have you?
Have you explored their depths?
Have you?
No. Do you know where the gates of death are located?
Oh my Lord!
Now that is the most profound way to express that idea.
Yeah.
Where's gates?
Where's the gates?
Gates, death.
Mm-hmm.
Death's gates. I'm sorry.
Death's gate.
Oh my.
Wherever he received you.
Where's hell?
That's what it was.
No, there's a location that he sends you to when you die. That's what that's suggesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, we know. Well, that's where the spirits that was disobedient. That's where they are now. They're chained there. Yeah, we call it shields, and the Catholics call it purgatory.
Purgatory.
There's no purgatory. There's a holding place.
Some of y'all churches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, the rest where the rich man and Lazarus.
Like, I need some water.
Yeah, that's another story. Keep going.
Have you seen the gates of utter gloom?
Yeah.
Do you realize the extent of the earth?
Yeah, the extent of the earth.
Not the circumference.
The extent of it. Yeah.
Tell me about it if you know.
If you know it, tell me. Talk to me. Yeah, go to 40 because this can go on and on.
But I just while she's doing that, but it's just amazing to me how God put Job in that position.
Yeah, he did.
And then decide to. I mean, come on. What was the compassion? What was the grace? What was the mercy? You did this to Job. Mm-hmm. So now why you mad at him? Because he done had and he done had all these and he can't stand no more.
Good question. Anybody got an answer?
He's God. He can do whatever he wants.
He's sovereign.
Yes.
And it might not so much be for Job. I think it was for us to read it. It's for us to read it.
Well, I'm glad I'm not Job, and I'm glad I'm us.
You do that to your best child, to the child that does good. You harder on that child than you are any other kid.
That's true.
So he chastens whom
absolutely.
He
That's it. He chases them hard. That's right. He won't let them die though.
So go back and do whatever you want to do.
Come on now, Job. Go to Job 40, 40 and 15.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
Take a look, behemoth.
Yeah. Which
I made, just as I made you.
He talking to this animal that he called the behemoth. Yeah. What you say?
I said behemoth. Okay.
It
eats grass like an ox.
He eating grass like an ox.
See its powerful loins and the muscles of its belly.
Mm-hmm. Now he's talking about a dinosaur, pretty much.
Its tail is as strong as a cedar.
Its tail, what tail of an animal is strong as a cedar tree?
The sinews of its thighs are knit tightly together.
Sinews. Absolutely. This is a creature that we don't have on the earth today. This is a mighty creature. There is no animal that we have now that describes this. And yes, God had to wipe some of them out. And then evolution says, well, then it got miniatured into, let's say, alligators and crocodiles and things like that. But why don't you go to 41? I'm talking about, here's another animal that y'all don't know about. 41. 40. Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. 41 and start at 18 maybe. No, 41 and 17.
41, 17. Mm-hmm. Each scale sticks tight to the next.
Yeah.
They interlock and cannot be penetrated.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are scales.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The skin, the outer coating of the animal.
But start at 41 and 1 to describe what this is.
Can you catch Leviathan with a hook?
Yeah, the Leviathan. Can you catch this thing with a hook?
They've been looking for that Loch Ness monster.
They've been looking for it ever since.
Or put a noose around its jaw. Can you tie it with a rope through the nose?
Yeah.
Or pierce its jaw with a spike?
So God began to talk verse after verse about this animal that man can't catch.
But it sounds very much like the hooking like a worm, and the way the terms that they're using. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
Very
Never saw it
interesting.
like that.
Absolutely. Well, if you go to 18,
Like
verse
a fisherman.
18,
Yeah.
it'll tell you even more what it says here. 18.
When it sneezes, it flashes light. Its eyes are like the red of dawn.
Then what it say?
Lightning leaps from its mouth.
Oh.
Flames of fire flash out.
This is a fire-breathing dragon. Absolutely. And the Asians got it right.
A dragon.
They got it right.
That sounds like a worm, but he's a dragon.
He sound like a worm.
Or an electric eel.
Could be. Scales.
Yeah. But do fire breathe out of his mouth?
Exactly.
Okay.
Electricity.
And if it's in water, but it can breathe fire.
Yeah, but you can catch an eel.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
eel before.
those two elements just alone for an animal to be underwater, but yet breathes fire.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Yeah.
in
Very
itself.
interesting. Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
Smoke streams from its nostrils.
Smoke.
Yeah.
That ain't no eel. Keep going.
Like steam from a pot heated over burning rushes.
Ain't that something?
Its breath would kindle coals, for flames shoot from its mouth.
I've seen that in humans. Keep going.
You said it before I did.
That was breath.
That was breath.
That was breath. They needed
That's
a
death
minute.
and breathing combined. Breath.
They needed a minute. That was not fire. That was funk. I mean,
Tell you, that's how the fungus be among us.
y'all know y'all
Got fur on your teeth.
Yeah, go to Psalms 104. Psalms 104, if you can.
Okay, you still want...
Psalms 104.
Kiss me, my food.
I'm saying you still want NLT?
Yeah, that's fine.
What verse?
Psalms 104.
Starting at verse 1?
Whenever they say 104 and no
he's
verse,
been doing that tonight,
Yeah.
but then he'll jump down to another verse when I was at 1.
just follow instructions.
Yeah, thank you.
leave her alone. I said leave her alone.
She's doing the best she can with
Come on,
with what I got. I know. Because it's still not coming out.
Oh, my Jesus Christ. Turn the
Who you
page
said
up.
Psalms who?
104.
104 and
Psalm
1.
101. 104. 104 and 1 says, and
What
this
you
is the
got?
NLT. Let all that I am praise the Lord.
Yeah.
O Lord my God, how great you are.
Yeah.
You are robed. Oh, robed. Is that supposed to be robed?
Right,
Yes.
it's robed.
You are robed with honor and... Oh, okay. You are robed with honor and majesty. You are dressed in a robe of light. You stretch out the starry curtain of the heavens. You lay out the rafters of your home in the rain clouds. You make the clouds your chariot. You ride upon the wings of wind. The winds are your messengers. Flames of fire are your servants. You place the world on its foundation, so it would never be moved.
Wow.
You clothe the earth with floods of water, water that covered even the mountains.
Okay, right there. You flood the earth with water.
Yeah.
Okay, and it covered the mountains, right?
Right.
Like the flood did. Keep going.
At your command,
He did
the
it.
water fled.
Yeah, then it says, okay, now I need you to recede, and the water ran away. Okay?
Who is this?
Who is
That
this?
Waters
That
and winds
water
obey.
just- Oh, my Lord. Keep reading.
All right, and then it says, at the sound of your thunder, it hurried away.
It hurried. It got out of there real quick like.
Hurry up and move.
Yeah.
Mountains rose and valleys sank at the levels you decreed.
Yeah.
Then you set a firm boundaries for your seas.
Absolutely.
So they would never again cover the earth.
They won't ever do it again. And that's what he said in Genesis 9. He says, I'll never allow this to happen again. But next time, it ain't going to be water, but it's going to be fire. Okay? And this is where the waters receded to. And another place what God did with the waters, you know what he did? He froze it. Because what are the states of water? You have liquid form.
Gas.
And
And solid, which is ice.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
And what God did was he used those forms to get rid of the water. And
That's the answer for the flood.
That's the answer for the
tundras.
flood. Yeah.
Because he
And-
shifted the axes
Yes,
of the
he did.
earth. They receded
like
back.
a bucket.
Yep.
He poured it, and then he froze it because he put it over there in the Alps, in the Arctic, and the North Pole, and then
Antarctica.
Like that. Yeah, he froze
which
it.
is a continent.
That's where it is.
It's a huge continent
That's
of
where it went.
ice.
That's where it went.
Antarctica. North
Come on
Poles,
now. Yes,
South Poles,
That's where he
Alaska,
put it. That's where he put it.
on now.
parts of Greenland and
Come
Canada.
on, sir. Come on. That's what God
Russia.
did. Yes, that's where it is.
In some of y'all's bedroom.
Well,
Uh-oh.
some of y'all's churches.
Yes, sir.
The Church of the Chosen Frozen. Hey, we got to go to a break. We will be
Frozen.
right back. Sir Walter Jones Show.
I have a nice one on you.
Wow.
Broadcasting all over the world at UrbanBroadcastMedia.com, delivering love and inspiration 24/7. This is UBM Praise. The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. What's his name? Sir Walter Jones. Show us this. Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. Say it again. Sir Walter Jones. Who you with? Sir Walter Jones. One more again. Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show with co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in which we tackle all the hot topics in a believer's walk. It's Fireside Friday. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and be encouraged in the Lord.
Hey, welcome back. This is the Sir Walter Jones Show. If you didn't know, I played the jingle for you. Well, was you not listening? Hey, I got a room full of folk here. I got more folk coming. They're going to give us the second half of this show about what the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. And we're using scripture to help you guys understand what God was trying to say out of his own mouth. Why and the who's and the whens and all this good stuff. Hey, if I go to John 1.
Gotcha.
Very, very popular scripture because we got to find out who is this we that God was talking about in Genesis 1. He said, let us. Okay, now God did the speaking, but somebody did the handiwork. That somebody created the earth with their hands. Let's find out who that is.
All right.
Go for it.
In the beginning, the word already existed.
It already existed in me.
The word was with God, and the word was God.
Oh, okay, so it was with him as well.
It was with a man.
Must have been somebody next to him. Okay.
He existed in the beginning with God.
Okay, he was there with God. He existed in the beginning with God.
My.
Wow.
Yeah. God created everything through him.
Oh, so God didn't really physically do it.
He did it through him.
He did it
sent
through
him.
him. Yeah. Right. Through him.
My.
Keep
Sent.
going. Keep going.
And nothing was created except through him.
So everything we have down here.
Everything.
Okay. Keep going.
The word gave life to everything that was created.
Yeah.
And his life brought light to everyone.
Wow.
The light shines in the darkness. Wait a minute now.
See, there's the come on.
You said it don't exist.
Yeah. Now, who said it don't exist? See, that's why I asked
If
these
it
questions.
shine in the darkness,
See.
then darkness has to be there.
See, you see
No,
what I'm
it
saying?
dispels darkness.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I
That
asked him
means it
these
exists,
questions.
though.
Hey, see, that's
Well, that's
why.
like me
What's
telling
the
you it ain't
purpose?
cold outside.
Its purpose is to expel it, but that means what would it be created for if
That's-
it didn't exist?
That's what I'm saying. So,
Okay.
so
Well,
you
you
said
got to go back to the beginning. It says the earth was without forms
okay,
and void
okay,
and darkness
okay.
covered.
Uh-huh.
But once he came, he always was after that.
So there could be periodically that he could expel it, but does that mean that it doesn't reoccur? Because we talked about cycles.
If he leaves that place.
Did not scripture say evil is always present?
Yeah, but light dispels it.
Okay,
So
but
he's sitting in the corner.
doesn't
Speaking
mean
of,
that
no.
No.
Evil is always present. Yes, you turn this light off, you see where evil just popped up. He's still here. He hanging
It
around.
don't have to be dark for evil to pop up.
Okay, all right.
But look at this
Keep
next
going.
line right
What
here.
it say? What it say?
So the light shines in the darkness,
Oh, it shines in that darkness.
and the darkness can
What?
never extinguish it.
Yes, sir. Preach the word.
I feel like God sent a man and John the Baptist.
Yes.
Okay, I ain't
No,
gonna keep
no,
doing
no,
it.
don't
Sure,
do
I
it,
could
don't do
preach
it.
it now.
I know you can.
To tell about the light so that everyone might believe because of his testimony.
Yeah.
John himself was not the light.
He won the one.
He was simply a witness to
Yeah.
tell about the light.
Okay. Now you know who John the Baptist was preaching again about, that is.
Yes.
Okay? Because he saw him coming from afar. He said, now behold the Lamb which taketh away the sins of the world.
Right.
Okay? And there's a reason why he said it. Because prior to that, all through the Old Testament, you can only cover your sin.
Right.
You took an animal,
Covered it
shit,
with blood.
and it covered. That's it.
But
Then
it couldn't be taken away.
if you sin again, you got to do the same thing all over again. But then he says, okay, now you Jews out there, now behold that Lamb. Now he gonna take it away fully. He ain't gonna die but one time.
My.
Okay, go for it.
That's a powerful thing.
That's
man.
powerful.
The one who is the true light.
Yeah.
So what you mean?
Oh,
It's a false
it's
light?
a false light? Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Because
All right.
Satan is called, he's called a star. He's another star of the morning.
That's
My,
right.
my.
He's a what do you call the
Angel of light.
no, what I'm saying, you know, you got the dollars that y'all put in the Photoshop, the machine, and you try to make copies of $20 bills.
Oh, he's a counterfeit.
Yeah, there you go. He's counterfeit.
All right. So the one who is the true light, who gives light to everyone, was coming into the world.
Okay.
He came into this very world. He created. So
Yeah.
he came into where he was created.
Okay, now people still saying, yeah, but that can't be Jesus. Still, we can't see where that's Jesus. Keep going.
But the world didn't recognize him.
It sounded familiar, though, ain't it?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
never recognized him.
No.
He came to his own people, and even they rejected him.
Okay.
But to all who believed him and accepted him, he gave the right to become children of God.
See what I'm saying? Keep going.
They are reborn,
Reborn.
not with a physical birth resulting from human passion or plan,
What?
but a birth that comes from God.
Wow. You go to Colossians 1:16. Okay?
Okay.
You keep reading.
So the Word became human.
There it
is.
There it is. So
There
this
it
word that was in the beginning with God,
Oh,
it became a human.
Right.
Keep going.
A human.
and made his home among us. He was full of unfailing love
Maranatha. Maranatha.
and faithfulness.
God is faithful.
My. Can
Yeah.
I say that again?
Say it again.
He was full of unfailing
Full
love
of unfailing love. Yeah.
and faithfulness. And we have seen his glory, the glory of the Father,
Yeah.
the Father's one and only Son.
Yeah. Okay. We ain't got to go no further.
Right there. Mhm.
Now
That's
you
it,
know.
that's it all.
That's it. That's it at all. What are you saying here, P.A.?
Colossians 1:16.
Yeah.
For through him God created everything in the heavenly realms and on earth.
Yeah.
He made the things we can see and the things we can't see,
Okay.
such as thrones,
Yeah.
kingdoms, rulers, and authorities in the unseen world.
Yeah.
Everything was created through him
Oh.
and for him.
Yeah.
He, keep going. He existed before anything else,
Wow.
and he holds all creation together. Christ is also the head of the church.
So we gave him a name now. Because that's what people say. That
Right.
still ain't Christ.
Right?
So he said it was Christ.
Through him and for him.
Yeah.
So is that why sometimes men think that everything is for him?
Yep. You see what I'm saying?
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go for it.
Christ is also the head of the church, which is his body. He is the beginning, supreme over all who rise from the dead. So he is first in everything.
Okay. Stop
First.
there. You Romans 8:18.
Romans?
For you. Romans 8:18. And
Romans 8 and 18. All
yeah,
right.
Yeah, and read. Keep reading and see what it say.
Yet we suffer now as nothing
Yeah, it's nothing.
compared to the glory
Yeah,
he will reveal
Many
to
of you are
us.
sick, and you people are dying, and we're suffering. Okay, in pain and what have you. This is nothing
Jesus.
compared to the opposite of glory. Keep
That
going.
he's going to reveal to us later.
Yes.
For all creation is waiting eagerly for the future day.
Wow.
I
When
love that
God-
KJV says groaning.
Yeah. All creation is groaning. There's a reason why we're groaning. Something happened at the very beginning.
Now, see, this is where King James in his poetic.
Go there.
Browse.
Matter of fact, why don't we do that? Can we
Okay,
do
it
King
says,
James?
For I reckon that the suffering of this present
Yes.
are not worthy to be compared with the glory that shall
Yes,
be
sir.
revealed in us. For
Yes,
the
sir.
earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God.
Love it.
Keep going. I want you to keep going.
For the creature was made subject to vanity,
Yeah.
not willingly,
Yeah.
but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself shall also be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God.
Wow. Keep going.
For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now.
All of it. Yeah.
As of childbirth.
Yeah.
And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves, grown within ourselves,
Wow.
waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
Yeah.
For we are saved by hope, but hope
Yeah.
that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why does he hope for?
Why you hope for it? Yeah.
But if we hope for what we see not,
Uh-huh.
then we do with patience wait for it.
And that's the whole question. That's the answer to why I
Yes.
believe in God.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have to see
There's
it.
something within me.
There's something within
I can't
me.
explain.
I can't explain it. Yeah.
Something within me.
Don't sing.
No.
26.
I got to get out there. You got to get out. Got to get out. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought,
That
but
we
the
don't always
Spirit
know.
itself maketh intercession
Yeah.
for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
We don't always know what to
wow.
pray for. And we're not talking about speaking in tongues here.
There's
Just
a
the
groaning
moanings.
and a moaning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like the mothers did.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Well, yep. You run out of things to say after a while, then you just go to moaning.
You
And
can't
the
describe it
Spirit.
anyway.
Yeah. Now watch this though. We have to be careful because people misunderstand
Misappropriate
this.
and apply it.
It didn't say you groan and moan. What does it say?
Your spirit, the Holy
The
Spirit.
Spirit does
Spirit,
it.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
So y'all been saying it wrong for too many years.
So it ain't the mother.
So y'all saying, well, I'm speaking in tongues because the Spirit. I've grown. No, it didn't say you do it. The Spirit does it.
Right.
I remember profound
Yeah.
teaching on this very subject by people we used to call
Yeah.
crazy. Robert Tipton. Remember Robert Tipton? Used to
And
go
the
on
name
TV.
sounds familiar.
The
Oh,
guy,
the
yeah,
white guy.
The white guy used
Yeah.
to look like the Joker.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
the
that's
curly
it.
hair.
Uh-huh.
But he did a lesson. He did a teaching at New Wine years ago on groanings, man. And he said, yeah, you know, I dare you to just let the Spirit of God moan
Yeah.
in you. And you saw yokes destroyed.
I believe it.
You know, it wasn't no tongue talking. It was
No.
just the moaning. He said, because, you know, he had faced a calamity.
Sure.
And he faced it. He says that's when that came alive to him because he said the anguish, the pain, because he said in his heart of hearts, he was really trying to do what he thought the will of God was. And that's when that became real to him.
Wow. Well, the Bible did talk about the wailing women.
Yes.
And that,
Absolutely.
yes, and they were. That's why in Israel you have the wailing wall. These are some of the things that we can adopt into our lives. Just moan and wail for the Lord.
That's what our old mothers did.
That's what they did.
During the
man.
That's how they survived
It's-
slavery. That's
it's
how they
missing.
survived the abuse. It's missing now because we have this
missing.
sense of entitlement.
Or they don't leave room for it.
They don't leave room. That's true. That's
They-
true.
and
That's
it's
another
bad
place.
because that's when
Yeah.
deliverance, true deliverance, comes
Yeah.
sometime, and things,
People want deliverance.
answers come to
Yeah.
They
you.
want delivery.
Well,
They
you
want-
know what I'm saying.
And
No,
that's true.
no. I'm not against you.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
talk too much.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and I think we're too comfortable. We got air conditioning churches now. Great benches. We got big screens and all these things, and so we're comfortable. Then we go home. We got brand new homes that we just built from the house. We got two cars in the garage. We're doing good, so we don't really need God that much. So we don't need to wail.
Yeah, I need him. I need him to
And
keep it.
He talked about that. What's the word that you couldn't say? The
What
Counterfeit?
Counterfeit.
you have this counterfeit spirit that sometimes
That's
exists.
what it is.
They
Yeah.
do it because they want to hurry up and get church over with or get
Wow.
things done.
Good stuff.
Because when the real, genuine Holy Ghost come in, that's when you have these things that are missing
Yeah.
develop again. But there's so many services that look like what it used to,
Right.
but you can tell the things aren't happening that used to happen.
Yeah.
Because you're
right.
raised in the right way. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Get Abby back over here in that seat.
Okay.
Thank you, PA, for your great reading. You know, she reads for her
Man.
church sometimes, and it's a difference between a good reader and this guy who just
Why she read for her church? Her church illiterate?
Huh? What? No, they like to choose her and her sister because they're so dramatic in their reading that it makes the people listening.
Hey, drama mama.
Oh yeah. They love it. But I need you to keep reading. What, you put your book away?
No, it's right here.
Okay. Go. Yeah, keep reading.
It says, moreover,
Mm-hmm.
let me go back to 29. No, I got to go 27.
Yeah, go there.
I do 26. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought.
Yeah.
But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
Yeah.
He that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is in the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God.
Keep going.
And we know that all things work together for
Yes.
the good of them.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Let me read that right.
Uh-huh.
For we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose.
Okay. Now this is very
Now,
important here.
Who are them?
Who are them? Sure. Right. The body is made up of sodium and chloride. Okay. One is 6%.
Carbon.
Okay. But these two are very important. Sodium and chloride. The 60% of one, 40% of another. Okay. Very important. Now too much of the sodium in your body can cause swelling, high blood pressure, kidney problems, heart problems, diarrhea. Okay, but it's in your body. Then you got chlorine or chloride, and it too much of that will kill you. Okay, but these both agents are in your body, and they come together and they create a substance called salt. Y'all know what salt is, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, it's called sometimes. Now we call salt sodium, but actually salt is sodium chloride. It's two together. So God says all things work together for the good. You got sodium, you got chloride. Both are poisonous, but you put them together. God created salt, and He put it in your body.
NaCl.
Yeah. So when you're thirsty, that's your body's way of saying the salt level changed in your body. So you need water.
Now, think about, we are sodium chloride, and we are properly chemically balanced.
Yeah.
To become sodium chloride for the earth.
Yeah. See,
We are the salt of the earth.
we are the salt of the earth, man. You go in there, and if once you're thirsty, you have already dehydrated. Soon as you realize that you're thirsty, absolutely. So let's find out what salt is. Salt from the oceans would cover all land on Earth,
It's
45
the only
stories
rock
high.
we eat.
All right. Yeah. For many centuries, salt was just as valuable as gold. The Romans would pay their soldiers partially in salt, which is where we get the word salary from. Salary or salarium.
Saline.
Salt was so valuable in the Bible that spilling it was considered a work of the devil. So what the devil did, he creeped up on you and he pushed you, and the salt spilled. So what we did to remedy this, they would take salt and they would throw it behind their backs. So y'all see some of y'all superstitious folk throwing the salt behind your back. That's to blind the devil. Y'all superstitious folk out there. But if you look at the painting, the Lord's Supper, have you ever looked at that painting? Are they on the table? You look, if it's Judas, when you look at him, he's spilling salt on the table. Pay close attention to it.
Wow.
Today, salt is so common that that the U.S. only 6% of salt is used in food today. Only 6%. Yeah, that's
because we're going to add it.
Right. I'm gonna add it. Yeah. So there are different covenants in the Bible. You had Abrahamic covenant. You had the New Covenant. You had the Davidic covenant. You had Mosaic covenant, and then you had what was called salt covenants. Okay, there in the ancient world. The Old Testament commands the use of salt in all meat offerings. We know about that, but there were covenants with a person would have blood covenants where, you know how y'all do that. You prick the finger. Y'all both prick each other's finger, then you shake hands, and then that's the blood covenant that is. So salt was used as a covenant as well. It was very, very. It was a very special and important agent back then, just like the apple was. Because we say, in the Garden of Eden, y'all always
Ain't no apple in the
say
garden.
that, but the apple was very, very rare in that territory.
It wasn't over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You had to go from afar to get it. Yeah,
It wasn't over here
So
either.
you know the question I have.
What's that?
We're doing all this talk about salt, which makes me wonder, why did he specifically use salt for Lot's wife?
Yeah,
She turned into a pillar. So what was he saying behind that, since we're saying all this about salt?
Great question.
great question. And it's been examined and
God
answered.
don't waste nothing.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, don't.
But out of all the
Listen.
things and elements or whatever
Well,
he could have
She
did.
was so attached to the earth, he made her the elements that she was, because he put her right back to where she came from.
Became a salt lick for a
Yeah.
cow.
she became salt lick for a cow.
Lord Jesus help this.
he
Yeah,
made
yeah.
it back the elements
Yeah. Well,
No,
she
I mean,
came, even
yeah.
though they say we came from the dust,
Dust of
and
the
the
earth.
dirt.
And,
So,
and
that's-
sodium and chloride are elements. They're not made from anything else. You find them in the earth.
Yeah.
Salt is the only rock we eat. Well, we eat pepper too. That's a rock too, so I won't say that anymore. However, why salt? You got to ask him.
I just want
But
to
I
hear
know
what
that salt
you
is a
would think.
preservative as well.
sure. And there
And
was
it's used to heal wounds.
But
right.
why her that moment use salt?
Geographic.
Interesting. All right, just want to know what y'all answer was.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna dig into that.
But he's right. It is geographic because it was known for being salty in that area the ground geographically was a salt territory almost.
So these are true salty
Right.
people. When we say
Yeah.
salt,
They were pillars. She turned into what was there.
What,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, again, I'm not. I know some folks gonna be like, "Is she atheist?" Because she keeps talking about science. But I love how much scientists don't realize how much they're proving a lot of the stories in the Bible to be true.
Yeah.
So, but again, National Geographic, Discovery Channel, those are my channels. It was shown that, of course, where Sodom and Gomorrah was, that did exist. A city did exist, and that city is extremely salted.
Yep.
To this, to this very day, covered in water.
Yep. That's right.
And it is so poisonous to even that you do not even find fish swimming there.
That's right.
Radiation.
You know, so therefore, no, and that's what they thought. It is not the radiation, but it is just so salted there that even machines that they have tried to send down into the ocean
Yep.
to try and get samples.
It tears it up.
It does. Before
Yes.
the machine can reach the surface of the earth, the machine has torn up,
Yeah.
and they have to quickly retrieve the data from it.
That's right.
And so that's why I guess you can say, in a way, salt is also used as a purification.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, purifies.
Purifies. It sure does.
It
Yeah.
burns.
And since that was
It's
the
acidic.
most dirtiest city in the world, I kind of look at it, God covered it because it needed purifying.
Oh, that's true. And salt was the refrigeration system that they used back then, as we have today. We have freezers now, we freeze, but they had to pour salt on their meats back there to preserve it,
Yes.
to go from territory to territory. So it was very, very important. But these, we look at the what is that chart, the table, the chemical table,
Oh, the periodic
the
table.
elements. Yeah.
Periodic table of
Okay.
elements.
These you got aluminum,
Alkaline and acidic.
Uh-huh.
And they're divided by those.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, you've got all these elements that on the earth, and God allowed man to name them. You know, from arsenic, boron, cadmium, carbon, chlorine. We just mentioned. Let's see, fermium, fluoride, lead. I know Art got many more. Lithium, mercury, nickel, oxygen. I got nickel in my pocket. Platinum, radium, radon, silicon. Some of you, I can't say
Oh, you
that.
better stop there.
Silver,
Gold.
tin. Yeah.
you best stop.
Yeah, you better stop.
And they know the
Yeah. So you got physical science, you got earth science. Okay, here's physical science. We got the scientific enterprise, that whole thing about what's going on in scientific community. We got physics. Okay, you got motion, planetary motions. Okay, laws of motions and gravitational pulls, what have you.
Yes.
All right. The interworkings of what's happening in the universe that they talk about. If a man, it says something about if a man cries in the universe out there, it just sticks to his face. It can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. If a man screams, can't be heard. Absolutely. And
It's
so
a vacuum.
momentum. You got heat from energy conversion, wave motions, electricity, and magnetism. Magnetism, an amazing piece of machinery.
Oh, God.
What causes this positive and negative side? You know, what causes it to repel? That is, you know, light and other electromagnetic waves. Where does it come from? The quantum theories. Okay, that we hear from a lot of atheists. Einstein was very famous for that. Radioactivity. Chemistry, which y'all took in class. I hated chemistry.
I hated chemistry too.
Atomic structure. Yeah,
too.
I didn't. Couldn't do it. Chemical bonding and molecular geometries and chemical formations. Just water solutions, pollutions, and on and on and on, and all these things here. The solar system is probably my favorite. The astronomy, I love it. The constellations, celestial distances. We got an award show called the Stellars. Okay, that's what it's all about.
No, the usefulness
Yeah.
of astrology.
Mm-hmm.
I marvel at it.
Yeah.
From sailors using it to them correlating Jesus with the Starfall. The Magi use astrology to find Jesus. to even follow the drinking gourd
Yes.
for their
Yeah.
Underground Railroad.
Right. Absolutely.
How God uses it as a roadmap.
As a roadmap. Yeah. And yesterday we talked about how God left his traits, his footprints in nature. Geology, oceanography, and meteorology. You know, we guys, the weather guy, he's a meteorologist.
Yes.
Yeah, and all these things that we hear, but we don't really examine and find out what they are. The hydrosphere, the atmosphere, the hemisphere, and all these great things. That's all physical science. Her sphere, and their fear, here fear.
There fear. Everywhere fear.
Okay, and you got earth science, which is my favorite. I love earth science. I think, and I said in Facebook on the opening how you guys are traveling down. I lived in South Dakota, and I would travel across that Minnesota state. Took forever. Mm-hmm. But once I crossed into South Dakota, okay, the earth just opened up, and it was an amazing sight. It's like as soon as I was getting ready to go right into the city, Rapid City, the sky would just lift out of the ground because the I-90 it does this. Okay. So as it's doing this,
what he's doing, everybody, this is an incline.
Yes, the incline.
So if you can look at your radio closely, you can see his hand go up.
Thank you. Okay, I'm doing this for you. Okay. So
thank you. I so need it.
So the earth lifts up, okay, and it was like the moon was hidden, and the sun was hidden. Okay, at home they told me it was dark, but as I continued to travel west,
it's because you were looking. Yes.
The sun was still up
because it hadn't set yet.
And I'm like, look at God. And then you look at how the earth is 93 million miles away from the earth. The sun is, okay? And they called it, and then when we look at the sun as we're traveling east in the morning, the sun is going up.
Ascending.
But when we're going back home in the west, it's going down, and it looks like the sun is moving.
But it's really us.
It's us moving. They call it apparent motion. It appears that it's moving, but it's not. We're the ones moving. And God was so concerned about us that he decided to put it 93 million miles away. Because if he had moved it just an inch closer, we'd have burnt up.
A quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
An eighth of an inch.
Yeah. And if he'd
moved millimeter.
Come on. If he'd moved it just an inch away, we'd have froze to death.
I mean, think about when the shifting of the axes for the seasons, when we're in the different solstices. As we tilt, we're closer to the sun's rays.
Yes.
And it gets warmer.
Absolutely.
And as it tilts back, it gets colder. So imagine if we tilt too much.
Right.
Or tilted back too
Fall
much.
over.
We'd freeze to death all over. That's why certain parts of the earth are so extremely cold.
Sure is. And we're not even walking upright. We're walking on we leaning.
We're walking on an ankle.
We're leaning. What? What you say?
Leaning.
Go ahead. Say
know when I have questions that bother me, and I wanted to figure out why specific. Even though his explanation of salt was good.
Yeah. Okay. You go back to salt.
Can I just read you what I found? I thought it awfully fascinating.
Go on. Research. We like somebody who know how to use that phone for other than gossip. Go on, research.
It states, when God sent two angels disguised as men to destroy Sodom, Lot invited them to his home. We were talking about hospitality a while ago. Remember that?
Was, yeah.
And he served them food. His wife was mad about it.
Right.
She was a native, added. Sodomite. She disapproved of this action inviting them in.
Yeah.
Lot asked his wife for salt for the guests, and she replied, also this evil custom you wish to introduce into this place, because they didn't believe in having salt. She didn't have salt in the house. She had no salt in the house, and she went from door to door asking neighbors for salt for her husband's guests. All about hospitality, letting everyone know that Lot had ignored the laws of the city by inviting these strangers. Short time later, a mob gathered at Lot's door demanding that he give up his guests to be mistreated. The next morning, as Sodom was about to be destroyed, the angels rescued Lot and his family. As they fled, the angels warned them not to look back. So actually, it seems as though because she was disobedient, what he told her to do, he turned her into what she was disobeying.
That's good. That's good.
So we better be careful as wives if your husband go ask you for a and you don't do it, then all of a sudden you ask me for ketchup, and all of a sudden I just wanted to No,
Ketchup, Lord.
I'm
You become a
just-
woman with a permanent issue of blood. Look at that.
Yeah.
So I was
Go ahead,
curious,
Haynes.
like, why salt? So it was actually because of
Yeah.
a custom that was happening at that time. Oh,
And you won't find that in scripture, but that doesn't mean that it didn't exist. But what happens is we do have Josephus and other secular writers who were in that time. That who are part of
their
that
commentary.
And absolutely, and they have cultures that we just don't read in scripture. Matter of fact, we did a show on where there are many books in the Bible itself. Y'all read over it, so there's more than 66 books in the Bible. There's a whole bunch of books in the Bible.
I mean, the Psalm itself.
Yeah, that's right. And we say turn to the
Such
30th,
but there's a number.
We'll say 30th division of Psalm. There is no 30th division. There's only 4 divisions in Psalm, 4 or 5. That's it. We'll say turn to the 150th division of Psalm. You're incorrect. There's only 4 or 5 divisions.
There are no divisions.
Okay. Yeah, right. Gotta go to break, y'all. Controversial?
Nah,
no. All right. Well, this controversial
I got
enough.
something, but I ain't got.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Give me a quick
flowing.
one. Give me a quick one, song, something like that, and then we'll come back and so I can take some tea and relax.
I don't want to force it
You being praised
because the earth is the Lord, not mine.
Log on to UrbanBroadcastMedia.com and check out the many services Urban Broadcast Media provides. Whether it's social media, video production, radio broadcasting, or audio recording, we got you covered. The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Never sleeps. He never slumbers. He watches over me both night and day. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. The reason I know, 'cause he told me so. He's in the forest, out on the ocean. He's in the fields, where the wildflowers grow. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. The reason I know, 'cause he told me so. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. He watches over me, yeah, both night and day. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. The reason I know, 'cause he told me so. He told me so. He told me so. He told me so.
Everybody, Andre Crouch and the Disciples, 1969. Take the message everywhere from Light Records. Producer Ralph Carmichael. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. Take 6 redid that song, actually. Back in the 90s, I think it was. Yes. They did a great job on it.
He never slumbers.
I said Take 6, not you.
I can take 6 seconds.
Somebody needs to redo it. Jesus.
Good Lord.
Bump, dump, boom, bump.
Yeah. Let's talk a little about earth science. We got earth science. We got earthquakes. We got plate tectonics. Y'all know about plate tectonics. Continental divide. Anybody know about continental
I know
divide?
about that.
Okay.
What
How many
about
continents
Pangea?
we got? Well, go back. How many continents we have? How many continents?
We got 7 listed.
Seven.
But
Okay,
it's
and
really
they were
just
all
6.
together, right, at one
Yes.
time.
Called Pangea.
Yes.
It's Pangea. Okay, all right, and then God, what He did, He split those continents. He had to spread them out. Okay, because
That's the theory of catastrophicism.
and because the whole world was, because that's the atheist defense. It says, well, we got all this going on. How could God have flooded the entire world? And then why is it that certain animals are on certain areas, but they're not over in certain areas over here?
They are.
But okay, right. Well, we
Found
have
them.
we have
You
the
find
answer.
on the coasts of South America and Western Africa.
Sure.
Similar species.
Sure, absolutely.
Even artifacts, even buildings, land.
Yeah, that's right. Because the question is, well, why are there what's that animal over there in the down under?
Kangaroo?
Koala bear.
Yeah, the
Koala.
koala and a kangaroo, but you don't have it over, in the in North America or maybe in
Well, you do. They just changed because a kangaroo is a big rat.
Yeah.
They in New York. They're rats.
Yeah.
They are. They're from the same family. They are rats.
Yeah.
You hate kangaroos then.
Yeah. Somebody used a defense in Genesis 10. It says, and unto Eber were born 2 sons. The names of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Okay. Yeah. There's a wonderful way to interpret scripture in Genesis to kind of help us understand how people went out into the world. I think Abby kind of helped us out yesterday a little bit on that.
That's the map.
That's the map of the continental divide.
Right. It shows how we all migrated.
We are migrated.
How we spread it out.
Yes. I would love for you to give me a bigger kind of blow this up, because I would love to do a teaching on that, because in Genesis we can do an entire teaching on this right here. I'm giving you a hint for next Thursday. So continental divide. Now y'all heard of the Galapagos Islands, right?
Galapagos, yes.
Yeah, and that's where that monster Darwin.
Hobbs.
Yeah, Darwin Hobbs. No, we like Darwin. He's a good guy.
Did you say Jackson?
Yeah. Well, Darwin, the man who caused all this division and amongst a lot of you, actually was the one who was in school to be a preacher. He was in theology school to become a minister. And then what happens is, and I think Satan did this, spoke in his ear. He allowed him to go up to the Galapagos Island, and over in the Galapagos Island is nowhere in the world like the Galapagos, because there are different islands of the Galapagos. Okay,
Like the Bahamas, like the Virgins,
absolutely,
like
but
Hawaiian.
right. But on every island there is a species that's different on each island. For instance, there's a turtle on one island that has a beak that's pointed, but the turtles on the other island don't have pointed. And then the turtles on the other island, theirs is straight, and the turtles on the other island. And he saw this and says, there can't be a God. Why would God make things so? Why would he select this for his enjoyment and make it so complex like this? That's what he said.
That stimulates his.
Absolutely. Yes. So he said, this got to be natural selection. And so he began to take samples home, and he began to because as a child, he liked to take animals home like we used to do and kind of, mess with them. And, cut them open and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. All little boys did that stuff. It was worms and little creepy
Still
things.
now. That's just.
That was a God thing.
Well, it wasn't all boys.
Yeah, that's true.
Y'all did it though.
Y'all did.
I enjoyed cutting open worms when I was a little girl.
My.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
No,
but
go ahead. This is intriguing. I was scared of them, but that's all right.
I mean, I enjoyed watching even my pawpaw gut a fish and seeing the fish inside spill out. It was like, ooh, wait, pawpaw, the next one you cut, don't let his gut spill out yet.
Wow.
And and he looked at me, gal.
Gal?
But I mean, it wasn't just only me. I mean, even my daughter Gabby. Gabby wind up saying, "I want to." As she used to say, "I want to work with the dead folks because I want to see where their soul goes."
See, they're anointed. Some people are anointed for that. I didn't fell out, but that's true.
For a long time, before I got her interested, even a little bit after, I think up until the time she's about 10.
Doctors and stuff, they definitely, it didn't treat them in the same way.
She wanted to work with the dead and see where the soul goes and how the body works. I'm like, okay.
Wow, that's something.
You will not have friends.
She'll have money because there's always the day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about the tides. There's something about how was he able to do this? So we talked about magnets earlier, okay?
Who?
Magnets.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how we used to play with magnets? We would put, we would
Draw me nearer, push me away.
But then what God did was He somehow allowed the moon to affect the waters.
Yes,
which brings about the tides or the waves.
Oh.
It's an amazing factor here. Nobody can really explain it. They try to explain it, okay? But how can an element like the moon that's all those?
Notice how beautiful it was last night.
Yeah, it was.
Huge.
I noticed that too.
It was
yeah,
huge.
it was very close. But that causes the tides and the waves at that far away. How is that even possible? Tides are periodical changes in the elevation of the ocean surface at a specific location. Their rhythmic rise and fall along coastlines have been known since antiquity. And other than waves, they are the easiest ocean movements to observe. Although known for centuries, tides were not explained satisfactorily until Sir Isaac Newton applied the law of gravity to them. Newton showed that there was a mutual attractive force between two bodies. In that sense, oceans are free to move. They are deformed by this force. Hence, tides result from the gravitational attraction exerted upon the earth by the moon and to a lesser extent by the sun. So the sun has part of it. So there's an attraction, and apparently something has happened to the earth for it to be pulled like that. See, this is poetic.
I see it's getting deep.
It's getting deep. I'm about to go here.
Pulling
and Isaac Newton in
together, and gravitation and forces. Right. All right. I need a cigarette.
You know what?
Yes,
Lord.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She did.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God! See, that's why I didn't do controversial. Come on.
Because she knows she was going to do it.
Man.
Abby, you get ready to say
Right,
something.
but as you know, as the moon, you will notice, anybody who will notice, if you are a romantic and you walk along the beach at night, if you notice, the closer the moon gets to the earth, and you pay attention to the water, although he's whispering sweet nothings in your ear, and you, at one point it's like, okay, you spit a little bit, but watch out now.
Watch out now.
But you watching they will get louder, stronger.
Really?
I mean, you will see the rush, and it is due to that gravitational pull. So I mean,
Alvin, pull it in.
I know,
They're
right?
doing the splash. The water.
Good Lord. Give me a
Lord,
headache.
he's spitting in the mic, y'all.
I'm not spitting in the mic.
Why don't we put alcohol on these mics?
Okay. Good Lord.
Alcohol.
Not the kind you drink.
You ready to read something? You gonna read it?
Tidal cycles contain two high tides and low tides.
Tastes pretty
Yeah.
good to me.
Yeah, high tides and low tides, depending on the distance of the moon.
No, how
Is
many
that what
people
you
show
read?
up and pay?
Generally speaking, tidal cycles contain two, so I guess it's a part of the cycle.
Yeah, it's part of the cycle. Yeah, here's a few other amazing facts about the universe. When you look into the night sky, you are looking back in time. Yes, that's how they try. That's because the universe is always expanding, and that's why they can tell you that it's 84 billion
Light years.
the universe. That's how old it is.
Age,
Because what they're doing is they're reading the universe backwards. They look at how it did boom, the Big Bang, because God was the big in that bang.
And the common and the date and the carbon dating.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, this is something that I know firsthand and no book can tell me, and I don't care anybody argue this.
What do you know?
I flew 14 hours from Chicago to Tokyo, and I couldn't sleep. I flew back in time one day, one way, and forward in time the next. And the amazing thing was the route that the plane took. It went due north, almost to the pole, and then due south. And you crossed the international date line. It never got dark.
Wow.
Because at that time of year, the tilt of the Earth's axis. And it was amazing to me because to leave one day and arrive yesterday.
Yeah.
And then coming home, I left one day Friday and arrived at the exact same time I left the same day.
See? And again, that song you just heard,
14 hours.
He never sleeps.
Yeah, because he was holding that plane up.
He never slumbers. He watches over me even when
both night and day.
Yeah, when I'm planes are usually 30,000 feet in the air.
I don't know how high that plane was flying.
They're about 30,000, 35,000.
Who knows how high the pilots were?
And I tell this testimony sometimes when
Ride now.
Well, no, you might be funny, but I'm telling you this right here. And I've used this testimony before. When I walked on the plane, I'll never forget this when God spoke to me. I walked on the plane. I walked past the pilot. I didn't even look in the cockpit. I just walked past him and went and sat in my seat. I put the seatbelt on. I leaned back, and it taxied off. I went in the air. I looked out the window, and I dozed off, went to sleep. Okay, got to Miami, Florida. The plane landed. We landed in Fort Lauderdale. Actually, we landed. Okay, took my belt off, got up, walked past the stewardess, walked past the cockpit. And they said bye. I said bye. We got into the
terminal.
The terminal, and that's when the Lord spoke to me. All right, okay. And here's what He said. He says, "You got on that airplane. You never once looked into the cockpit to see if anybody, first of all, was flying. You didn't find out what he even looked like. You never checked the stats of that airplane to see if it ever had a damage or like the Carfax.
Yes.
You never checked the Carfax. Okay. You sat down. You put the seatbelt on. You let a man you never saw before take you 35,000 feet in the air, and you had the nerve to go to sleep. Okay, and then the plane landed. You got up. You had another opportunity to see who that guy is, and you walked past the cockpit. You never saw him. You get into the airport. He says, but whenever I ask you to walk by faith and do anything, you have to question me. You got to see signs and wonders and miracles for you to believe me. But you let a God you never saw before take you 35,000 feet in the air, and that thing messed me up, man.
Yeah,
trust.
Yeah.
It messed me up. We trust people that we have never met before, but we can't trust God
and objects,
and
people,
objects.
anything.
Yeah.
You trusted the plane to take you up in the sky.
I had no doubt because I just knew that the stat says it is safer to be in the air than it is to drive a car.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ain't that something? Yeah. But yet it's safer to be in the arms of God.
Conviction.
The statistics
I'm sorry,
are
Lord.
not accurate all the time.
No, they're not. They are not.
Because survivors of plane crashes are rare.
You see what I'm saying? Right.
It's just, it don't happen that often because they don't have crowded roads.
That's it. Exactly. It's facts.
But you know that's one of the things you will find more people looking towards the people in church versus going there to hear and learn about God.
Yeah.
They go there as to where they will use church as a fashion show, as the latest place for the gossip, and like I said, I mean, it's frustrating to me that people go there to find God in one another.
We talking about church?
Yeah,
exactly.
They
left God at home.
Right, and it's like,
well, that lets you have an effective pastor if he's always pointing you to God. But you do have some people who bring the attention to themselves, and that distracts people from the real purpose of being there.
Right. Because I've even had some people's like, ooh, I want to be next to Sister So-and-so because maybe God will just maybe she can rub some of God on me. She's not God.
Right. Rub God on me.
Why?
Give me some of that God out your purse. Let me.
Give me some of that.
Yeah,
There's a
girl,
bomb
you
to
look a
Gilead.
little ashy.
Right.
Let me get you some
Yeah,
God.
come on now. This is.
And we talked about this on the show last week. I says that where I find God the most is at my home. Mm-hmm. Because when I go to church, I got to go through all of the what color suit he got on, and all of the her hair, is that a weave or is that really hair? And then I got to go through all of the pomp and circumstances of the praise team leader telling me you better get up. I said get up. Y'all don't believe this. Y'all don't know God. Y'all don't, and now you beat me up for not worshiping the way you worship, and I gotta go through all of this.
Yes.
But at home, that's where I go in my closet and I find God in me. He said, all that distraction. Now let me talk to you. Now I can talk to you. Okay. And what church is? It's a corporate worship. And this is something that he loves as well, because this is the house that we built for him.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, a lot of times he ain't wanted in some of them places.
You got that right.
In his own house.
Well, they put him on the times. They put him on the time schedule. If you don't get in here by 12, then
Yep. Thank you.
Seriously.
And in our churches, especially the Church of God in Christ, we'll be going up in worship, and the praise is so high, and somebody about to get their deliverance,
Then they're going to disrupt it.
and a bishop going to walk in,
Vex.
House in order.
and they'll say, "Stop the music."
Vex.
Bishop Tutu's coming in. Then they begin to worship him almost in a sense. And it is ridiculous.
I have seen that.
Yeah, and the only man that I know who stopped that mess from happening was Bishop L.H. Ford. Thank God for him. God rest his soul.
Hallelujah.
He walked in one day, and they said, "Stop the music." He said, "Why are you stopping the music? Why are you doing that when I walk in? I ain't God. Go back to worshiping him." He does these little hands. Like, "Get back to worshiping the Lord. I'm not important."
Wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And they
true
went up. They went up.
wisdom.
Yeah. And then we got to the point where he knew he had to come in, but he would wait until the service kind of died down, because he knew the presence of him will cause people to try to quench. So he would stop and stay at the door, and I would be like, "Thank you, Bishop, for doing that, not coming in," because the people they tied to you, and now they're not tied to the Creator.
Wow.
Yeah,
Pastor Hinton would always purposely come in through a back way.
that's good. Yeah,
Or sneak in around.
Sneak in.
So that he wouldn't be distraction.
man.
I actually got called into the office.
Oh,
Because that is the way the mothers trained us. You're not important. You go in, and especially if you're late or if anything, you go in, you sit down, you get into the service.
yeah.
Sometimes people who come in and they want to get the God bless yous and hugs and all that and stuff, and you're supposed to just go in and you're a part of service.
true.
But
Right.
they say that you're being distant or whatever. And I said you don't speak to people and you don't go do all the hugs and you don't do all the handshakes.
Right.
I'm like, are you serious? You would be surprised how some people think that that's really what it's about. It's about you knowing that you're nothing in the presence of the Lord.
That's
It's
good.
not going in and smiling and, "Oh, you didn't hug me on the Sunday." No, it's not even about that. I'm glad you're here, but I'm not here for that. We're here to be in the
Right.
presence of God.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
I love that. A lot of times I'm called to preach. Okay, a pastor will call me for a pastor anniversary, and I do I'm the keynote speaker. And what they'll do is they'll bring me into the pastor's office. Now I've got to sit in his office until it's time for the sermon,
That bothers me.
and
I
it
can't
bothers
do
me.
it.
And
I can't do it.
I stopped it. I said no. I don't want to sit here and make a grand entrance. Now I want everybody to get excited because
See?
I'm preaching. But
See?
I didn't support the choir, the
See?
praise team, the little babies sang.
See?
I didn't support nobody. I don't want to be that guy. So are you sure? No, I want to go out here and worship with the people.
See?
So they can at least receive me
I'm
too.
preaching somewhere. I get there before service starts.
Yeah.
I want to be there in pre-prayer. I want to get a vibe for
I
the
want to
room.
get it. Thank you. Case the place. See what's going on. Know the vibe of the people.
Exactly.
Yeah, you won't know I'm sitting in the office. Y'all shooting the breeze. Here's another fact. The Hubble telescope allows us to look back billions of years in the past. The Hubble. Number 3, you can watch the Big Bang on your television.
Come on, John, too.
Yes, you'll do. Number 4, there's a giant cloud of alcohol in Sagittarius B. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm a Cancer.
Yeah,
Clear
me too.
alcohol or brown brown alcohol? Clear brown.
I'm a Virgo.
Virgo. There's a planet-sized diamond in Centaurus, named after the Beatles song. Yeah. It takes 225 million years for our sun to travel around the galaxy. I ain't waiting that long. Our solar system
I
biggest
want to know
mountain.
who's been around long enough to figure that out.
Figure that out. Yeah, you can calculate some things, I guess. Our solar system's biggest mountain is on Mars. And women are from Venus. Number 8.
Quit playing. Quit playing. Quit playing.
Uranus spins on its side with some rather strange results. Yeah, and what's that planet they finally realized is not a planet? They got rid of it. Pluto. Yeah, Pluto's gone. Unfortunately, he's gone. So
they fighting to bring Pluto back.
They try to put it back.
Yeah, they fighting to bring Pluto back.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse gonna be
Mickey
sad
Mouse gonna be
'cause
upset.
Pluto, boy, come on, Pluto.
Huh? What is it?
How many solar systems are in the galaxy?
No, I don't have all that.
3,506. No, just
Yeah. Number 9.
And there's 100 million galaxies known in the universe.
Okay, well you need to say that in the mic.
Exactly.
Number 9, a
100
year.
million galaxies known in the universe.
About 15 years ago, you actually was able to see Andromeda pass by with the naked eye. So that means that was another galaxy that had 100 million solar systems in it, just like ours.
Oh, yeah. See,
Who
that's
had
why.
time to count.
Who had time
that stuff?
to see, right? And why was that? Why was he having such a boring night to do that?
Right.
It's amazing, though, ain't it?
Right.
But it's for information. Wow. Number 9, a year on Venus is shorter than its day.
Yes.
one day
year.
is longer than 1,000
That's
years.
come on,
Oh, that's
God.
because
God
of
knows what he's doing.
circulation,
Yeah.
There's one day in your
Yeah. Neutron stars are the fastest spinning objects known in the universe. A spoonful of neutron star weighs about 1 billion tons. Yeah. And 12, the Voyager 1 spacecraft is the most distant human-made object from the Earth. I was in college when that thing crashed. Not the Voyager, but that other thing.
Discovery. The shuttle?
Well, yeah.
Space shuttles. Yeah,
it
I
was
watched
1985, I think it was. 85, 86. I think the Bears had just won Super Bowl.
Yep.
It might have been 86. I can't remember.
It was 85.
85, yeah. And I was walking to the kitchen for breakfast. I was at Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona Beach. And I was walking, and I looked up. I was walking back to my room, and I looked up, and I saw this beautiful cloud.
Aurora.
Huh?
An aurora, like.
Well, yeah. And I said, wow, that's beautiful. What are they doing up there? You know, not knowing. Well, you know where I am in Florida.
Right,
the Cape Canal. What's it called?
Canaveral.
Canaveral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1986.
Yeah, 1986. Thank you. I know it was kind of chilly. What month was that? January.
February.
January. I knew it was cold. And I looked at it. I said, "That's pretty. Wow, what they doing up there?" Not realize. And then my teacher says, "There's something wrong. Something's going on because they just launched that woman, the teacher." They said, "That's something." I went to my room and turned on the TV, and there it was. And then I saw myself looking at history. You know.
Yeah, living it.
Living it. Yeah.
A year later, Prince did Sign of the Time.
Yeah, right. Okay, sign of the time.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Absolutely, yeah. So these are all of the wonderful things that God has done. Again, the earth is the Lord, and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. Everything we've ever seen, God created it, and He used His Son Christ, as you read, to do the handiwork for us, and we thank God for it.
Amen.
Yeah. So those of you who want to talk to an unbeliever, go to Romans chapter 1 and read it. Read it to yourself first, get an understanding, and then you can be able to talk to them about it. Rewind Spreaker and listen to all of the verses we gave you. Abby, at the beginning of the show, she gave some wonderful facts about it as well. And all the players in this room play a big part in the intelligence of God. He put it in us. And it was called a mystery, but He put that mystery in us. He said it in Ephesians. He put that mystery in us, so there's no excuse. You have no excuse.
It's His story.
It
My
is,
story.
yes. And He said He put in us that He haven't even given to the principalities. Satan don't even know, because it said if He had known, He would not have crucified.
No, He left that alone.
He left it alone.
He left that alone.
But He gave it to us. Now we know. All right. We don't know it all, but we know enough to understand. Okay. Gotta go. Monday, Men's Chronicles. We'll be here talking about men's stuff again. It's a vicious cycle.
Oh, Lord.
I dare you to show up at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, the question is, can you hurt like you've been loved? Like you've never been loved.
Right. Thank you, Yvette Ford. We love you, girl. You're the greatest. Abby, we love you, girl. Thank you.
All right.
CC, thank you, girl. Gotta go. This is the Sir Walter Jones Show.
You've been listening to the Sir Walter Jones Radio Show, where he provides you with a biblical perspective for your everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones by visiting him online at www.sirwalterjones.com or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Sir Walter Jones Show. Stay tuned until next time with the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.